What is up? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a very exciting video, but I've been getting a lot of questions about these products ever since I told you guys that I picked them up. So I'm going to be talking about the Tartelette In Bloom palette and the Tarteist contour palette. My Tarteist palette is dirty because this thing is very much loved. I am actually wearing both these products on my face today, and I will be showing you guys a demo just so you are able to see how I use them and how I contour, how I get this eye look, just everything. I really wanted to make sure I included a demo. I think demos are very essential, especially if you're looking at buying a product. You want to be shown what they're like. So I got you covered, boo. Don't you worry. If you're new to my channel, like always, please subscribe before you leave. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. And if you're interested in knowing all about these two new Tarte products, then please keep watching. So naturally, I actually just want to start with the Tartelette In Bloom palette. Since this palette is so raved about, I have the Tartelette, which let me grab both these palettes. The Tartelette In Bloom and the Tartelette palette. This came out about 8 months to a year ago, something around there, and this Tartelette palette was so hard to get. I remember the girl at Sephora telling me it was limited edition when it launched, which now it's part of their permanent collection. It was seriously a huge hit. I actually didn't buy this until a few months after it launched because I couldn't find it anywhere. But pretty much this is what the Tartelette palette looks like. It's all matte shades. So in this Tartelette palette, you get 12 all matte shades. They range from light neutrals to deep dark plums, purples. There's even a black in here, or it's like a very dark brown black called Fashionista, and it is seriously just an amazing, everyday, very versatile palette. This palette is an amazing gift because you can do so many different things with it, and it's always nice to have these matte shades in your collection. So yeah, this is the Tartelette palette. I don't want to talk a lot about this, so I'm just gonna kind of sorta not really compare it to the new Tartelette In Bloom palette. Pretty much it's the same setup. They both look the same, just different packaging. And then this is a gold, and then this one is kind of more of a like dark silverish gold. So that's kind of what those look like. And then when you open the Tartelette In Bloom, it looks identical to the Tartelette original palette. So that's like the two differences of them. I posted stuff about this on my Instagram, so I will leave a link down below in case you want to see the picture of up close. But this is what the two look like next to each other. Obviously, the Tartelette In Bloom is much more warm, as where the Tartelette original is much more cool, but I don't want to talk about this like I said. Tartelette In Bloom is much more neutral and much more warm, and a very big difference from the original one to this one is the fact that the Tartelette In Bloom comes with shimmer shades, and oh my god, they are so pretty. So you actually get, how many shimmer shades? You get 3 shimmer shades. You get this light highlight bone, which is Funny Girl, and then you also get Firecracker, and then you also get Rocker, and then the rest of them, which are 9 other ones, are matte. So I think that is so amazing that they put shimmers in here. When I first saw this palette was going to be launching, when everyone was in Turks and Caicos, I posted a picture on my Instagram once again, and I was just like, I will love you forever. And I love this palette. I think this palette is a staple palette in any makeup collection. Like if you're obsessed with makeup like I am, you need this palette. If you don't have it, it is just insanely pretty. And like I said, it's what I'm wearing today. You can do an all matte look. You could do a super smoky look. You could do just a lot of different looks with this palette, and I just think it's an amazing palette. The packaging, once again, is very cute. It's very sleek, and you can store it anywhere. Now, another thing that I actually really like about this palette is the shade range. I think Tarte did an amazing job. I mean, like, if you just look at this palette, you can just get so inspired. Like when I see this palette, I see so many different looks. This palette just screams inspiration to me, in my opinion. I just love this palette. So once again, this is the Tartelette In Bloom palette. It is $45, and I actually think that's a very good deal, especially for the size of these shadows and for how creamy and pigmented they are. Let me just do a quick little swatch for you guys. This is Flower Child, and it is just a very creamy, blendable shadow. Like you guys can see, just blends right into the fingers and feels like butter. And then for a shimmery one I'll swatch, I will do a Firecracker. So this is Firecracker swatched once again. Shimmery, buttery, smooth, just blends seriously, you guys, like a dream. And I'm flipping you off, so hello. So that's Firecracker once again. Both these shades, just very creamy. Oh my god, I just love this palette so much. Obviously, I use my Tartelette a lot. Just obsessed with this palette. I think Tarte did an amazing job with it. So yeah, once again, this is the Tartelette In Bloom. So this is the Tarte Tarteist contour palette. And I know that this palette, I had one girl tell me to do a video kind of about it because she hasn't seen anything on it. So I thought I'd go ahead and kind of talk about it as well and just make these videos one. But this is the Tarteist contour palette. And it's like a little disc, kind of like their Rainforest After Dark palettes. You open it, nice mirror, and then you actually have 2 highlight shades, 1 blush, 2 contour shades. And this is supposed to be a highlight powder, but I mean, I use it as a setting powder. So these 2 first shades are your highlight and your yellow is your correct. So I don't know how to explain this, but I blend these 2 together. I actually use the more pink tone and the more yellow tone to blend and to set underneath my eyes, which I honestly love. I love mixing these 2 together because I feel like the yellow and the pink mix very well together, and then they're very, very creamy. These shades are just so creamy. These are the 2 of them right here. Once again, very creamy. They feel like butter. They just feel like the Tarte eyeshadow. So if you've ever felt any kind of Tarte shadow, then you would kind of know what they feel like. And then as for, like I was saying, this center shade, it's like a pale white shade. I use this to set parts of my face. So where I don't use the highlight shades, I will use this white powder. I think it's an HD powder. A lot of people think it's a highlight powder, but that to me just looks like an HD setting powder since it is white. It reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever one. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's just a white, nice powder. And then once again, it's very creamy and blendable, and I love it. It's what I use to set my face today. And then like I'm showing you guys in the demos as I go through these products, as you can tell, I am like just taking my time and just really showing you how the product works because I don't want to do it very fast and you guys not be able to tell. So that's what the HD powder looks like on the face with the 2 like highlight powders as well. And then what I like to do is I like to take these 2 like contour bronzer shades. Now, when I first used this palette, I did not know how pigmented these were, so I went in with a lot, which isn't in this video because I've used this a ton. But as you work with these powders and really get to know how their formula is, what works best for your skin color and your skin, you will absolutely know how much product to apply. So I'm just going to show you guys. I like to mix shades 3 and 4 as the contour shades, and I like to go in and slowly buff with my NARS Ita brush. I found that using the NARS Ita brush is so much more easier than using any brush, and I really like to just go in, carve out my cheekbones, and then drag it up my cheeks to really sculpt my cheekbone. And then I also like to go in on the sides of my temples, and then I also just like to contour anywhere else, like my nose, my lip, down my chin, anywhere where I would normally contour. I use these 2 powders. And oh my god, these powders honestly do not look super cool toned. They look like just normal bronzers, but these powders are so cool tone on the skin. I seriously don't know what Tarte did, but when it is on the skin, it looks very cool and contoured, and it looks beautiful. Like, I have never used contour powders that look like these. They just look so pretty and they look so natural. I'm obsessed with these 2 powders, obviously. So yeah, moving on to the blush in this. I don't know what this blush is called, but it's just a very pretty pinky, mauvey, muted shade. I just apply this like I would any shade. I also like to blend this shade with any other blush that I think might complement it well. And then once again, just apply it where you would normally apply blush. Now, this also retails for $45, which I know is a lot of money, especially for a product that is pretty new and that you're not really sure about, which I know there are tons of other contour palettes right now out on the market. I know I own a ton of them, and to be honest with you guys, my favorite one on the market besides this one, which this is my favorite one on the market, I'm just gonna say that, these are actually a lot more finely milled in my opinion than the Kat Von D Shade and Light powders. I say that because the Kat Von D ones are a little bit more thicker in texture, where these seriously just feel like you're putting butter on your skin. I know some of my brushes actually don't pick up the product in this because it is very thin. So what I like to do is I like to use, where is it? I like to use my e.l.f. blush brush. It just picks up the right amount of product, doesn't take too much, which is also very nice. So I'll kind of just show you guys, like, I take like that and it gets that much product, which is plenty, trust me when I say. And then I always tap off excess and then I just dab, which you guys saw this in my demo, but that's what I do pretty much. And it just seriously, like, you need this palette in your life too. And I know, like, when I was buying these two palettes on Tarte, I made my order for both them and I was like, you know, I should really call Tarte and say I don't want that contour palette, because I was just kind of like not sold on it until I got it and until I tried it. And I think that's a really big thing when you're using beauty products, is you don't know what's gonna work for you until you try. That's my kind of 2 cents about these two Tarte products. Now for the hard part, if you only had to pick one of these palettes, since they are pricey, which one should you pick? So if you have a ton of eyeshadows, like, I mean, if you have a good amount of shadows that are in this range, like I know I have a ton that are in this range, but I just needed this one. So if you have a ton of shadows that are in this range and you can only get one right now, I'd hold off and buy this palette. But if you already have a ton of contour palettes and you're like, Sophia, I don't need contour palettes, I'm really looking for something more in the eyeshadows, then I would go for this palette. It just honestly depends what you're in the market for. And girl, if you are bringing in the dough, then buy both, because seriously, they'll change your life. I love these two palettes. Like I said, I think Tarte did an excellent job with the formulas in both of these palettes. I really hope you guys enjoyed this demo-ish review of the two new Tarte palettes that recently launched. I will of course leave them linked down below for you guys to check out. And that is actually it for this video, except I totally forgot to mention my lip color is Posh Spice from Jeffree Star. Oh my god, I'm obsessed with his liquid lipsticks. Like, obsessed is like not even the right word. I was so not wanting to buy his liquid lipsticks for a while because I wasn't really sold on them, but oh my god, they're the best liquid lips. And I hate saying that, but seriously, they're the best liquid lipsticks I've ever tried. All the colors I have of his look amazing on me. I'm not trying to brag, but they do. Like, I thought Posh Spice would look so grungy on me, but it actually looks really good. Not trying to brag, but it does look pretty bomb. That is it for this video. Like always, and like I always say in my intro, if you're new, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave me comments down below. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. I love you guys so much, and goodbye.